Hey guys, welcome back to Winning with Sketchup. Adam here with you, and today I want to fulfill a request that I had gotten from one of the subscribers on the YouTube channel. And the request was to do a video showing how to model a Doric column. And he sent me a link over, so I would just want to go through my process on doing that. And just want to mention, as always, there are many different ways to go about doing any single thing in SketchUp. So this is just how I would approach it. So let me pull in the reference image that he sent to me, and let's delete our guy here. And what I'm going to do with the reference image, I just drug that over from my desktop, and that's a JPEG. So I'm just going to stand it up with the rotate and just drag the rotate tool on the red axis and then go ahead and stand that up. Now what I want to do is just center this at the center point here, and I'm just going to eyeball this and change it to X-ray mode, make it a little easier to snap it, and just snap it right there at the origin point. And it just kind of gives us a center, as everything's going to be revolved around a center point when doing a column or something like this. So the way this plan is drawn up here, you can see the top is a little bit narrow, more narrow than the bottom, and this is indicating the way that the column will taper here. So another thing to note is the fluting on the column, and you can see that there's 20 of these flutes here, the channels. So with the main part of the column, we want to make that with 20 segments, so that's something we want to keep in mind. And for the rest of it, it's just going to really be drawing a profile and doing some follow me operations here. So what I'll do first is just go through, and I'm just going to draw this really quick. And the main question was how to do the fluting with the taper, and I'll show you how to do that here. But let's just create our base, and then we'll go ahead and create the capital. So I'm just going to use the regular SketchUp tools here, use the line tool and the arc tool. And just be mindful of your segments here. I'm going to set this to about 16. And then we have a smaller little arc here. I'm going to set this down to 8. And go back to the line tool. And then another arc here. We'll do this one at 12 or so. Like that. And grab our endpoint. And maybe just come up just a little bit, about there. Come across, and what we want to do is snap to our origin point here, and then just close off our profile. So we need something for the follow me operation, and I'm just going to draw a circle here, lock it to the blue axis, draw it across, and we could do 20 here. I think I'm going to bump it up to maybe 48 segments or so, make this a little bit smoother. And it doesn't really matter where we do this. I'm just going to draw a line on the blue axis, and I just want to, I'm not going to do that, I just want to get rid of that face, but I want to keep that center line. So I'm going to double click on our circle here, and then run the follow me tool, and then just click our profile there. You see we have a nice smooth base, and I want to grab that and make that into a group, and I'm just going to toggle everything else off for a second, and I just want to do a couple things. First of all, I want to keep that edge there, that's important. I'm going to cut that out of this group and then paste in place on the outside of the group, so we can line up the capital with the base here. And I'm going to delete that inner section there, and I'm going to close these off and just kind of make this a solid object here. So I can just grab one of these edges and hold control, grab one of those, and I'm going to run make faces from S4U, double click, hold shift, deselect, and then delete, double click, hold shift, deselect, and delete. Now we should have a solid group here. Turn on hidden geometry, everything looks pretty good. And I'm just going to get in here and reverse these faces, and I'm going to use Frito Tools automatic orientation for solids, and that should go ahead and flip that. And taking a little longer than I thought. It would have been faster to just get inside the group and triple click on it and then just reverse the faces, but sometimes that method's pretty convenient. You can do it outside of the group. So I'm okay with that one for now. I'm just going to hide it, and here is our center line. I'm just going to draw this up and just kind of hit a point here, come across, and then just go ahead and kind of do the same thing. Bring this down, slight little curve here. And what you might want to do is just go into front view, parallel projection, make sure that your curves and everything are staying flat to where they should be. And let's see, what do we have, 12 there, maybe we can lower that to 8. And looks like there's a little inward curve here. Something like that. And let's lower this to, let's just do 6. Edge tool, line tool, come across, line tool, come across, come down just a little bit, and arc tool here, change the segments, and let's do 6, or maybe 8 looks a little better. Come down, maybe come in just a little bit, one segment, and then wrap this around. Something like that. Change that to 12, come down again, cross to about here, arc tool, come down, and let's keep that around 12. And let me redraw that actually. I'm just going to pull this over just a hair. There we go. Alright, so one more curve here. And just come down a little bit and take that back across. Make sure we snap to our center point, and that should close that up. Like that. And we're just basically going to do the same thing here. Grab a circle. And let's just bring this across. And we got that 48 segments. Launch, follow me, and click on our profile. There we go. And it got rid of our top face, but that's okay. Just gonna triple click on that, make that into a group. Grab that edge, run, make faces, just close that back off. And pretty happy with that, looks good. So I'm gonna bring back the bottom, and what I want to do is just establish the height here, and I'm just gonna eyeball this up for now, and something like that. So we're gonna taper from this thickness to this thickness here. And just to see, we can bring this up here, click here, cross on the red axis until we touch, and that's roughly tapering in by 1 3/8 based on whatever scale this is. So it's not a whole lot, but it is a little bit noticeable. So, all right, if we remember, we had 20 segments here. So with our circle now, we are going to draw it out. I'm going to change the segment count to 20 and come across. across. And just hit about there. And we can bring this up. And let's go with X-ray mode. And just kind of snap here to this face. So I'm not going to taper it just yet. I'm going to make it into a group and isolate it. And now what we want to do is I'm going to offset this just a little bit here. I'm going to grab this inner rectangle, hold Control, and scale this up. About there. Just double check that it's scaled the top too. And I'm just going to get in here and draw a half circle. Make sure I stay in that segment. There we go. And I'll just leave it at the default 12. We're going to do the same thing up here. Default 12, get rid of that edge. And what we're going to do now, and I can close this all the way, do it one more time. Make sure we're at a half circle. There we go. And now we should have an issue up here. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Okay, so just want to make sure that you are touching both endpoints. Come up, and I don't think that was a half circle. There we go. Now we should be able to just highlight that section. And I'm going to bring this in the depth of, let me just move a copy of this over. And we can take a look here, call that a half an inch or so that that's going to go in. So, hey, got lucky and nailed it. And let's bring this guy in and about there. Now, what I'm going to do is just grab this section here. I'm going to make it into a group, and then I'm going to copy it. And then I'll explode that group and just delete all of this and finish extruding that in. And now I'm going to paste that group back in that we had there. And I'm going to grab this inner profile, hold shift. I only want the edges. I'm going to copy those edges, get inside our group here, and then paste in place. So if you don't know paste in place, it's in the edit, but I have it set up to a shortcut there. So now we should have all of these, and if I wouldn't have deselected, they were already selected. So let me just deselect here, and we only want this path. And now we're going to do follow me here. So follow me, click our profile, and there we go. And what I want to do, let me just reverse these faces quickly. I'm going to get in here and should be able to delete some of this. And let me just close some of this up here. Turn into X-ray mode. And what we want to do is, actually nothing's selected. I'm just going to snap that to there, snap that to there. And it should, kind of just target welding this together, something like that. And I should be able to delete those. There we go, like that. And just weld that to there, weld that to there, and then that to there. So depends on your scale. Sometimes it doesn't do this, and you can just go ahead and delete those. But there, it's all cleaned up. And we'll go do that to the top as well. But I think what I'll do is just find center here. Let me go to front view, parallel projection, and I'm just going to cut with Zorro plugin. This is Artisan, but I'm just going to cut across here. Let me do it in both directions. Make sure. Grab that, delete it, and I'll just mirror this with the mirror tool. And make sure that I am hitting those points there. And no, and then I should be able to just delete those edges. Turn off X-ray mode. Let's soften this here. Turn off hidden geometry. And let's use sun for shading here. Let's take a look at that. Okay. There we go. Looks pretty good. And what we want to do is turn on hidden geometry. I want to isolate just one of these segments here. So I'm going to group that and then select both of those and group those together. Get inside the group. I'm going to change the axis here and just make sure. Triple click there. Now, axis should be right. And I'm going to put a little center point here. And I'm going to use a plugin to do that called Add Center Point. And now I'm going to rotate from the center. Tap Control, go there, and we want to do 19x. Now I should be able to triple click here and delete everything else. Turn off hidden geometry, and we have a beautiful fluted column. Delete that guide. Now there's a couple ways we can do this. We can select, if we wanted to keep them as components, we could select everything here, and you can see right now they're groups. I'm going to convert the groups into components. Group copies convert into components, and that's through the Selection Toys plugin. So now they're all components, and if we grab them all, I'm going to use Frito Scale, and there's a taper tool, so we can taper this down. Taper it in, tap Control, and we're just doing a guessing game here, but I'll show you how to do it precisely. But let that go through and process, and it's making all of those unique. But there's a little trick using the two components plugin from S4U. You can convert them back into instances. So that's done. Well, we had a little bit of an issue there, so I'm going to hope that the autosave here didn't start us too far back. Welcome to Sketchup. It happens. So let me let this run through, and I'm going to go get us back to where we were quickly here. I'll pause the video. So actually it wasn't too far back, so I'll just do it here with you guys and just again walk you through it, dropping that center point in there. Oops, I just want to grab that one segment, and I'm going to make this into a group here, and actually I'm just going to explode this and get in here. I'm going to change the axis. Now I just want to rotate around, and we're going to do 19x. Now we can triple click on everything else and delete it. And I'm just going to go in and forget about trying to save the component instancing, you can do it, but it's not really worth it on something like this. So I'm just going to explode this down and turn off hidden geometry, and we can see how good that looks. Now what we want to do, we can close the top and the bottom if we wanted. And it should be almost a solid group here. I'm going to try to run Fix-It 101, see if we can get back to solid here. So let's just run solid inspector, and there we go. Now we're back to a solid group. Should help us prevent crashing. And what we want to do is I'm going to go to, again, Frito scale. We're going to do box tapering to target. And what this will allow us to do is we set our taper direction, tap control, click here. Now I'm going to get in here and actually move from the endpoint and snap to an endpoint here, and that'll set, and that should help us line up just like that. So it's a little bit off for some reason. Try that again. I think I just need to hold shift here and snap that there. There we go. And if you remember, our segment count was different between the two here. And if we really wanted to be picky, we could fix that and blend them together. So I can grab this surface, copy it, get out, paste it, make that into a group, grab this one, copy it, get out, paste it, group it, grab those two groups, and then use Curvy Loft, and we can blend those together like that. And maybe lower our segment count down to 2. Something like that. And we can do the same thing down here. Lift it up on the blue just a little bit here. And get in, grab that, copy, close, paste, group. Copy, close, paste, group. Grab both of those. Run Curvy Loft, just kind of like a bridging operation. Set this to 2. And there we go. And let's grab all of the pieces here. There we go. And the only other thing that I could recommend is if you were going to do any type of unwrapping or subdivision, you can go in here and I would run split tools, split donut, and that would go and connect all of these n-gons and turn them into quads, and that would make sure that you had a good clean quad geometry. And soften those, do the same thing at the bottom, and soften those. There's really no need to subdivide this. If you did, you would want to also offset this in, delete that center face, turn this into quads, and do the same here. And now you could run something like sub D on that, and that would go ahead and subdivide without any issues at all. And just add a little bit more smoothness to that. But let's turn that off. I think that's all for now. And let's just take a look at the final column here. Turn on shadows. And if you wanted to adjust the size of this, I would recommend getting in and doing it in sections here, just lifting up the top and attaching this piece to it. Probably get rid of that. And what you would want to do is you can use the Frito tools, the stretching tool, and that's this tool here, and that'll go ahead and allow you to lift this up and snap that there, and it just kind of stretches it from the center. Does the same exact operation if you would have vertex tools installed, and you could just grab these and move those up, and that way it doesn't distort any of these half circles that we have in here. So you can snap that just like that, and it's doing the exact same thing. The Frito scale tape or stretching tool works really well. So there's the finished column. And if you guys have any questions on the process on how to make that, please leave a comment. Please like the video if it was helpful, and encourage me to make more content. So happy rendering, happy sketchupping. Hope you guys are winning with all your projects, and we will see you in the next video.